Namaste. Today's class is going to be all about joints. No, not the kind you smoke, but all the joints, you know, like the elbow joints and the wrist joints and the shoulder joints and all things like that. And so we're going to start warming up the joints, and then we're going to go into what's called full extension, and I'll talk about that when we get there. You may want a blanket to sit on, something to kind of elevate, because we're going to start with our feet facing forward. And sometimes when you're in Tadasana, Dandasana, I should say, you'll start kind of like rounding, and you want to be able to elongate your back, okay? So just starting, sitting down with your feet, get nice and comfortable. And again, make sure you're not rounding, but staying up. We're going to start with our toes, okay? So take the big toe, okay? And you can start wiggling it a little bit. And bend, using your big toe, just bend it in and then bend it out. And if you notice, your big toe is a great place to focus on because the rest of your toes follow. From what I understand, there are people that really focus on this and they're able to just actually take the big toe down and then have the other toes follow. Maybe you can show me someday that you can do that. But just start moving the toes back and forth, and notice how your feet, like the upper foot, might be getting a little bit more warm. Okay, and then just pause. So take one of your legs and just move it out about a foot, and then point and flex. So now we're going to move up into the ankle and just point and flex. And when we do these joint movements, see if you can focus just on the point that we're working on. Become a little bit mindful of what you're working. Okay, and now we're going to do clockwise. So just rotate the ankle around and try not to move. I know it's a little difficult. Any other part of your body while you're doing this, so that you are focusing on what's going on with that particular joint, which way it's moving. And now let's go nice and slow. And also, this is not a race. So go real slow in both directions. Okay, and then when you're done, just bring that foot back in, and then we'll take the other foot out. Okay, and point and flex, and exhale on the point and inhale on in. So exhale, inhale, and exhale, and inhale. Okay, and pause. And now we'll start with clockwise. So exhale down and around, inhale up. Exhale and around. Exhale, inhale up. Real slow. Exhale and around, and pause. And now go to the other side. Exhale down and around. Exhale down and around. Okay, so bring that leg in and pause. And notice how from your ankles down are feeling. Okay, it's a really nice thing. Okay, so now we'll get into the knee. So take one knee up, so grab behind your knee and lift it up. And obviously you might start rounding a little bit, see if you can still stay up. And just kick the foot forward and back. And just forward and back. And forward and back. And forward and back. Just a real gentle, so exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. All right, and then bring that foot down and just pause. And notice how that particular knee might be feeling a little bit more warm. Okay, now bring this one in. And you're just kind of, it's a real slow movement. And if you can't, if this is a little bit too much, bring your foot down and bring it up. Do the modification that works for you. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. One more time. Exhale and inhale. Okay, now bring that foot back down and just pause. Okay, now lift the other leg up, and now we're just going to make circles. So I'm going counterclockwise. Just rotating around. It's not a very big movement. Just moving that joint around one way, getting it warmed up, and then go around in the other way. Okay, rotating it around. Make sure you're not moving around a little bit. It may be a little difficult because you are doing a little core work. And then bring that leg back down. Pause. Notice the knee. Okay, now let's bring the other knee up. Okay, and then we're going counter. You can use your toe to kind of draw the circle, but again, focus on the joint. Okay, so you're thinking about that knee joint and what's going on with that knee joint and not moving any other muscle. And then rotate around the other way, all the way around. And then come on back down and pause. Okay, so now we're going to cross our legs. Just cross them. And bring your hands behind you, okay? And what we're going to do is just lift the pelvis up so it's kind of like a tabletop, and then bring it down. So we're working the tailbone and the hips a little bit. So lift it up and down. So exhale and inhale. So you just gently, that's why it's nice to have a blanket underneath. Exhale and inhale. And exhale and inhale. All right, and then come on back up to a seated position. If you want to bring your legs back out, that's fine too. But we're going to be working on our wrists now, one of my favorite body parts. So bring your hands out like you're high-fiving me, okay? Relax your shoulders down, and then just bring the tips of your fingers down and up. So it's kind of like you're waving by. So feel both wrists, okay? Up and down. And again, it's really important that you go slow, okay? So exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, and inhale up. Okay, now we're going to just go side to side. Now you're waving. So you're definitely moving your forearms, okay? But you're not moving anything else. And again, focus on just the wrist of what's going on. Back and forth, right? And then come on back down and just pause. And take a nice big inhale. And exhale. Okay, so now let's take our hands to our shoulders, right? So just up, your elbows are facing forward, not out, they're forward, and just bring them out. So it's actually this is more of an elbow, so bring it out. So in, out, in, exhale, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And then just pause for a moment, kind of check in and notice, again, you're trying to think about the elbows, but other muscles may be getting in there. Try and be mindful of what's going on with the elbows. Okay, so now we'll go out, so it's out. So just slowly out and in and out and in and out and in and exhale out and in. Really getting those elbows out and in and out and in. And then come on back down and just pause and just relax and just, again, focusing on the elbows. We don't really pay attention to them until they hurt us, so it's nice to be doing some things like this. Okay, so now let's just rotate our shoulders. We're going to get more into the shoulders later, but this is just a warm up. So bring your shoulders up to your ears, bring it back, down and around. Okay, so just a couple of times just to kind of loosen up. Inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale, and just pause. Okay, so notice that. All right, so now let's do our neck. So drop your ear to a shoulder, okay, and just hold it there, and then come on back up, and then drop the ear to the other side, pause, and come on back up. And now again, we'll drop it over to one side. You're doing it really gently, okay? Come on back up. And other side, woo, yep. Come on back up. Okay, pause. Okay, so now drop your chin down, looking down, and then come on up. So you're not, excuse me, going all the way back, it's just slightly up. And then it says very slow, exhale down, feeling the back of your neck. Inhale up. Exhale down. And inhale up. One more time just to get a little bit loose. Exhale down. And inhale up. And then come on back down. Okay, now we're going to look to one side like we're saying no. One way, come back to center, pause, and then look over the other side. And come on back to center and pause. So exhale and inhale. And exhale and inhale. And exhale and inhale. And exhale and inhale and pause. Okay, real quick, we'll get a little bit more of the upper body. So bring your legs out again, so you're sitting up, and then you'll bring your hands out, and you can have your thumbs up or whatever. And we're just actually, sometimes it's easier to have your palms down. So relax your shoulders and just move to the one side, and then move to the other. So we're just kind of moving that upper spine. So you're not bringing your sit bone, like the one sit bone up. It's just a very slight tilt, just starting to warm up the sides and that upper thoracic spine, like I said, and moving one side and then the other. One more time, exhale and inhale up. And pause. And how does that feel? Okay, so take one hand and bring it on the opposite knee, and then just gently twist to one side. And just hold it there. Sometimes doing these really small movements, your mind tends to wander away, and it's nice to just hold and be with where you're at, with what's going on with your body right here, right now. And then come on back around and pause. Okay, other hand goes to the opposite side, twisting around to that side. So we're definitely moving that thoracic spine, but you're getting also a little bit more of a shoulder opener. While you're sitting up, if that back hand is a little closer to you, it might help you keep that spine elongated. And then come on back down. Okay, so now our joints are a little bit warmed up, and we're now going to go into a portion of range motion. So sometimes, like when we're walking, we get into this habitual, our legs are, the leg will come forward and back, so flex and extend. and it'll only go so far. Sometimes if we don't go further out with our range of motion, we'll lose it. So these next exercises are not necessarily about yanking out, but just noticing where your range of motion is. Okay, so let's come up onto our knees, okay? That's why sometimes having a blanket might help, or fortunately for me, I'm on carpet. So if you're up on your knees, okay, this is a little interesting. You can have your feet curled under or not. And what we're going to do is kind of a little bit of cat-cows, but this can be a little bit interesting and intense doing this, okay? So cross your arms, okay, and then drop your chin down to your chest. So you're rounding that upper back, okay? So you'll feel this rounding. And then move to your right side to a side bend, okay? And then move back, a little bit back, like you're doing a full circle. Now go around to the other side, and you're doing a side bend, okay? And then you're coming back around into that cat position, okay? So here we go again. Exhale. Rounding, and you're really rooting in, so you're not moving anything else but that super upper body, okay? That, again, your thoracic spine. So your glutes are tight, your core is tight, and you're moving all the way around. And you might notice some new things open up. Come on around. And then come back to center. And then come on back up, and then you can just pause, and you can sit down, take a break, because we do have to do the other side. Now, do you remember which way you had your hands crossed? You want to cross your hands in the opposite way. Okay, so now we're going to go around the other way. So drop down, okay, and then the opposite way, round your back around, and coming around. So you're not swaying your hips. Again, you're only using that upper body, okay? That upper, the super upper body, okay? Sometimes people think the upper body starts at the belly button, but we're talking about the chest and the shoulder blades and the upper rib cage that comes around. Really rooting down. Come on around. And notice if one side is a little tighter than the other, or looser or easier. Come on around. Keep steady, okay? One more time, all the way around. And then slowly come up and sit back just for a moment. And notice how your upper body feels. Okay. So now we get to go into full range of your shoulders. And we are going to be up on our knees again if you need to sit in a chair that doesn't have any arms, so we're going to be moving around. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're doing flexation and extension, but the best way to tell you how to do it is have your thumb up. So take one arm up, okay? Actually, let's start with our hands. Let's start with our shoulders so that you understand this. So if you bring your hands out and your thumbs are up, and you know what it's like to have your shoulders up and down, okay? So pretend that your pinky fingers, okay, let's start with one hand, is on a shelf, okay? And so lift your shoulder up, bring it back, down, and around. And really focus on just the shoulder. It's kind of nice to just do it this way. And just feel that one shoulder really opening up. So it's coming all the way around, up and around and down. All right, now let's go in the opposite direction. So you're bringing it up. So you're not moving, again, any other part of your body. Rotating it all the way up, down, and around. Okay, and pause. So notice how that shoulder's feeling really good. And that is your end range. That is what you're doing. Okay, so other side. So bring it up, back, down, and around. And you'll notice how all these other different muscles that connect to that shoulder when you're forcing, not forcing, wrong word here, while you're rotating around, it takes to move that whole area, that whole joint up and around. And there's nothing wrong. Now let's go in the other direction. If this is a very small movement, that's where you're at. Maybe if you work at it and practice, you'll get a little larger. And it's just a acknowledgement of where you're at with particular joints. And then just pause. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. Okay, now we'll do the full range of the arm. So bring the other arm up. The thumb is going to go up, and it's going to go up, and when you get to the furthest point that you can get to, you take that thumb and you swivel it. Your hand is going to go in, down, and around, and then come on back up. So again, you're only using that arm, so you're not twisting around. You're just moving that whole arm, so there's a little bit more. So exhale up, inhale down, exhale real slow, exhale up, inhale down, and exhale up, and inhale down. Okay, now let's go in the opposite direction. So again, the thumb goes up and around. So you have to really be conscious of how that thumb is moving. So it's externally rotating up and around. So it's thumbs up when you get to me, and all the way around. And notice if your other body parts want to start moving. Don't let them, okay? Because we're only thinking about this particular shoulder. All the way up, down, and around, and pause. How does that whole side feel? Nice and warmed up. Okay. Other side. So you're coming up, so it's thumbs up, and then the thumb goes right to when you get to the furthest point, and then you bring it down. And then slowly come up. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Oh yeah. Notice anything that's like, if anything hurts, by the way, you stop. But if you're getting a little crackles, that's all right. All right, now let's go in the opposite direction. So the thumb comes up and around, nice and slow, okay? Feel it, okay? All the way up and around. Inhale up. And exhale all the way back down, and pause. How did the shoulder blades feel? How does the whole shoulder girdle feel? Okay. Now we're going to move on into the hips. So we'll come into tabletop. And this is a very small movement, what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be rotating the hips, and you really don't want to go all the way open, okay? So it's a very, very, very small movement. So pick whatever side and bring the nose toward, or excuse me, the knee towards your wrist. Just bring it out and start moving the foot, so you're externally rotating. The foot is kind of going over towards the other calf, and then you're going to internally rotate. So now the foot goes sky high and comes back around. And again, you're only moving a very small movement. So once your hip starts kind of flopping over, you're out of whack. Not out of whack. You're losing the focus on just how to open up that hip. So again, you're moving the knee out, right? And then you move that knee up to the sky and in. Okay, you want to try it backwards. So move it out. So you open it up and then bring it back in. And then open it up. You're not moving anything else unless you need to come down on your forearms or something, okay? And then one more time around. And then come on back down. And if you need to sit back in a child's pose because your wrists are bothering you, please do so. Okay, other side. So the knee comes in, okay? And then you're externally rotating up. Make sure you're not way up, okay? And then come on back around. So it's a very small movement, or some of you may have like been working at this and can really open up a lot more. This is just knowing, again, your range of motion. And also, it's opening up those hips, okay? Come on back down. Now let's go in reverse. Okay, so then you open it up. And you'll also know if one side's a little tighter than the other. All good information. Come on back around real slow. All right. And then come on back around. Okay, and if you want to just sit back for a moment and pause. Okay, now we go into what's called 90-90. Now, some of you may find it really tight, so basically you're making a 90 degrees with one side. This is my right foot, and this is my left foot, so I will be referring to that. So just know which foot is in front of the other. And you want to keep your spine elongated. This might be too much for some people, and if you need to lean over a little bit, that's all right. Again, in time, with practice, or just doing something like this, and this is a type of pose that you can hold for like 5 minutes, and you will notice quite a difference of all kinds of things going on, opening up. And just hold it for a moment and just keeping your spine elongated. And then what we're going to do from here, and again, I recommend holding this for a lot longer, but we're not going to do it today, is bring your hands down, and if you had your hands down, that's fine too. We're going to gently, with a long spine, fold forward, and you really don't want your sit bones coming off the ground. And then using your hands, you're coming back up. So you're pressing that front knee and foot into the earth. So exhale down and inhale up and relax everything else, but you're really, you know where you're feeling this. Exhale down and inhale up and exhale down and inhale up. Okay, pause. All right. Now here's the fun part. And again, if you need to have your hand down, I might have it. You may have to lean over a little bit. So you're going to lift, hold it up, that front knee up, okay? And you'll notice if you move backwards, and you'll notice all the different things that you're working here. Keep holding it, keep breathing. Keep it up, and then come on back down. Wow. Okay. Take that front foot and move it closer into that other thigh. Then take this other foot and you're going to cross it around, all the way around to the other side, okay? And if you need to straighten this right leg out, that's okay. So I'm going to take my left hand and hug my left knee, right? And it's a twist. But it's not so much about the twist, it's more about this left arm hugging the left knee and then feeling a good stretch along this whole outside of the left knee. And just breathe into it. And again, if you need to lean over a little bit, that's all right. In time, you may be able to have your spine a little bit more up and down. All right. And then bring the leg all the way back around, okay? And now we're going to kind of do a little windshield wiper. All right, this might be easier for you, but I will be moving around. So you're going to take that left knee, so that's the knee that's on the side, and then come on up, and you'll have wide leg. So your hands are behind you, and you're opening up, getting a nice opening up, and then you'll just drop your knees over to the other side. I'm going to move around so you can see me, okay? Okay, so now here we are, nice 90-90, and just hold it. And one side might be a little bit different than the other, right? Just good information, so just hold it here. Again, if you need to have a block or something nearby, all good, all good. Just hold it up there. Okay, now bring your hands down wherever they may be, maybe that's down in front, and just fold forward, and you're just folding forward at your waist, at your hips, not your waist. And then come on up. So exhale down. Make sure you use your hands when you come up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And do it nice and slow. Inhale up. Exhale down. And inhale, come on up. And all right, how's that feel? Okay, so now you're going to take that side leg and bring it all the way around. So this is my right leg. And hug that right knee with my right arm. And I am twisting around to the left. So again, feeling it on the outside of that right foot. You might be feeling it a little bit in the glute. But just holding this twist, this nice stretch. Just hold it, breathing in, breathing out. All right. And then you come all the way out and around. Just kind of nice to do this little action. And then elongate your spine again. Know that whatever end range you're at. And then come on around with this wide-legged, okay? And so while you're in the wide-legged, you can bring your legs straight out, okay, and then come on up. And just pause for a moment and notice if you're rounding again, maybe you want to be sitting under a blanket. And then if you want to, you fold again at the hips, not up here, just a little bit, just to feel a little bit of a stretch in those inner thighs. Give them a little bit of love too, right? And just relax into it. Take some nice inhales and exhales. Okay, now walk yourself back up, okay? And you're going to take the soles of your feet to the floor, okay? And then lower yourself all the way down. Okay, and I'm going to show you from, I think it'll be easier to show you from, I'm going to take my right leg. No, sorry, I'm going to do it this side, so that you understand. My left foot over my right knee, okay? And yeah, this is definitely like the beginnings of a figure four. But what you're going to do in this one, if this is in your practice, if you can do this, you're going to move the right knee, so that's the bent knee, the one that has the foot on the floor, down towards the ground into a twist. So your shoulders are still on the ground. The left foot is not on the floor. It's really just on top of that thigh, the right thigh. And if your knees are bothering you, try and bring your calves closer to your thighs. That might help. But you should feel an excellent stretch. into the whole side area there. And if this isn't in your practice today, you can stack the left knee on top of the right. That's all right too, whatever works. I'm just giving you a little bit of a different option today. Keep breathing into it. And then when you're ready, come on back up. Gently uncross your legs and just pause for a moment and kind of notice anything going on that left side or whatever side that you just crossed. And then anything good going on, I might add. Okay, so now the other side, cross it over, okay? And then you're going to gently bring, this is my left knee, going down towards the ground. Now, the right foot is not touching the ground, okay? And you're just feeling a nice opening going on. We're getting all around that hip girdle. I believe that's what it's called. And just let everything open up. Breathing in and breathing out into that whole hip area. Remember, you're focusing on that area. And then slowly come on back up. Uncross your legs. Pause for a moment. Notice how you're feeling. And then when you're ready, lengthen your legs out. Your palms are facing up. Close your eyes. And notice how your joints are feeling. So all of those connected areas. Your toes, ankles, your knees, just let them rest. And then where your legs connect into your hips, that whole vertebrae, right? Fingers, wrist, elbows, and the shoulder, just let it go. And of course, those neck, the cervical spine up there. And then one joint that you can lubricate and relax on your own is your jaw. Just let it relax. It is known that by relaxing your jaw, it'll help calm your whole system down. Now when you're ready, start moving the joints of your fingers and toes. Roll over to a side. Stay there a moment. When you're ready, slowly come on back up. In any seated position, you can have your legs straight out again, or you can cross-legged. And take a nice big inhale and exhale. Bring your hands into prayer. Bring the corners of your mouth up and smile. Namaste.